I've become a better leader, so I can lead my family at home better, and I can lead my team better as well. And I've gained more confidence in myself, which has in turn helped me gain confidence in our customers, or our customers have gained confidence in me, and the same thing with my team. They see me as somebody that's more of a leader than I used to be.
This podcast is sponsored by Action Coaching. If you're a home service business owner, ask yourself this: are you constantly chasing new leads or just keeping the business growing? Ben Jordan built a $100 million plumbing and HVAC company. Inside the Action Group, he teaches contractors how to create recurring revenue, strengthen leadership, improve sales, and build systems that reduce the owner's day-to-day involvement. Members get weekly coaching, practical templates, proven scripts, and strategies designed specifically for home service businesses. If you want to get out of the truck, build something that runs without you and creates real wealth, check out the Action Group on School and book your free consulting call.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Builder's Bible. I'm joined by Daine Patton, who is the owner, founder of Bats to Rats. Daine, you got a few things going on. You also have a podcast. I see that you have a book, and I'm excited to dive into it with you here today, since you seem to have your hands in many things. Tell us a bit of your story. Tell us about what you got going on.
Well, first, thank you for having me be a guest here. Definitely grateful to talk to your audience and bring whatever kind of value I can to you guys. So, yeah, I do a few things, but my first and foremost, yes, I'm a father and a husband. That's the most important thing. But my business, Bats to Rats, Wildlife Control and Prevention, I started that back in 2015, so we're in year 11 now. I started it just as a one-man in a truck operation, and now we service the entire state of Nebraska and parts of Kansas, Iowa, and Missouri, and I have a full team of 7 techs and an office person. So we're rocking and rolling every day, taking care of nuisance wildlife and mainly bat and rodent exclusion work.
Okay, so yeah, I noticed I've actually, you're probably maybe the 3rd or 4th pest control guy I've had on the show, and I find it interesting. You're more hanging your hat on the wildlife prevention and less on the insects. When I think of pest control, that's the most annoying thing that I feel like I run into. So how did you get into that space? How does one wind up in wildlife and pest prevention?
Yeah, so I first got into pest control back in 2007. Back then, I did everything bugs. I did termite treatments. I worked for a large national company, did general pest control, did pretty much everything you could, bed bugs, roaches, all of it. And one of the issues that I kept finding was the customers that had major mouse problems. I'm in Nebraska, so we definitely have a lot of rural areas, a lot of farms, stuff like that, and people would keep catching mice inside their homes. And that was a major problem. And with it being rural, like there'd be a lot of driving involved. And my dad's been in construction his whole life, so I have a bit of construction background helping him when I was growing up. And I just started going to some of these houses, and instead of having to come back over and over and either putting poison out or snap traps and glue boards to catch mice, I started sealing holes up on their houses. And it started to find some success. I didn't have to go back to these houses over and over again. But what ended up happening is those customers canceled their service because they no longer needed me because I solved the problem. And in the pest control industry, that's not how you make money. You make money by selling somebody a reoccurring service that you have to continue to come back to and service. And so it was just like a different way of thinking, a different way to handle a problem. And that's kind of how I got into the wildlife world.
Can you tell us a crazy story about an encounter you guys have had? So I'll tell you, I went to a place in Florida and I just didn't realize how bad a bat situation can get, but it was this like retreat center with these kind of cottages. And one night I was just on a walk and all of a sudden I saw this stream of something coming out of the top of the cabin. I was like, what is that? And I realized it was bats. And I'm talking literally thousands and thousands and thousands of bats came out of that. And I was like, that is disgusting, because in the top of that cabin, there's got to be so much bat dung. And for people that have this on their property, I imagine that's a huge issue along with mice and rats. Like that is brutal. So, I'm sure you have some crazy stories of encountering those types of situations.
I mean, definitely anything that's indigenous to Nebraska, we take care of. But yeah, for sure, bats, that's our number one nuisance wildlife issue that we deal with. Because we love bats. Most people love bats. They're pollinators. They eat thousands of mosquitoes every single night. So they're very good for our ecosystem. They're just not great when they're living inside of our homes. And I like to say that we're kind of in, not necessarily in wildlife control, we're kind of in the peace of mind business. When you have something scratch around in your home, you don't know what it is, or you go up in the attic and you see a bunch of droppings, you kind of feel like you have a dirty home, or you're afraid of what's going on. And we come in, we kind of educate you on what's going on, because it's usually just gaps, cracks, and crevices that are just normal on an outside of a home, and the bats find those and stay in. But I've been in everything from tiny houses to large churches, schools, apartment buildings. One of the craziest ones was we were doing a church, and after we removed the bats, which was a very large job to just remove the bats because of how big a church is, and bats can get in the size of a dime size opening. So you have to seal everything up and install one-way escape systems so they can get out. They just can't get back in. But then after we did that, we go in and we clean out all their droppings. And we had probably over 3,000 pounds of bat droppings in this attic space of this church. So large job, crazy. But after we were done, you'd never know the difference.
Dang, that's crazy. Where are you guys at overall in terms of the size or scope of your company, either overall sales or number of staff? Like where's the company at today?
Yeah. So yeah, we do over $1 million in revenue each year. We have just hired a new guy. We're hiring another one. We're opening a second location by July 1st this year. So we have 7 full-time employees. Probably by the end of this year, we'll probably be at about 10 to 12.
What's the reason for the most recent growth? Like has there been any sort of decision you guys have made, marketing, anything that's led to that?
Well, I contribute a lot of the growth in my company, my business has been to a lot of the personal transformation growth that I've been able to have. Back in 2021, I was a 330-pound man, and I had to make some choices and decisions and change some things in my life and really start a new lifestyle, and went through this personal transformation where I lost about 116 pounds. I used to be a heavy drinker, and now I've been sober almost just over 3 years now. And all of these small habits and routines and changes I've made in my life have directly correlated to the growth of my business. I've become a better leader, so I can lead my family at home better, and I can lead my team better as well. And I've gained more confidence in myself, which has in turn helped me gain confidence in our customers, or our customers have gained confidence in me, and the same thing with my team. They see me as somebody that's more of a leader than I used to be.
I love that. So your fitness has really attributed to you becoming a better father, husband, and business leader.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, so many people, and me included, I used to make so many excuses of why I couldn't be in shape, or couldn't work out, or couldn't eat better, and all that kind of stuff. And all the excuses I made were the exact reasons that I should have been doing it. Yeah. And I just had to stop lying to myself, had to stop making excuses, and really make time and an effort to put myself first. And once I started doing that and started taking care of me, I realized that the capacity that I had to give to so many more people increased because of that.
This episode is brought to you by Corberry Digital. If you own an HVAC, plumbing, electrical, roofing, or home service business and you're tired of wondering where your next lead is coming from, you need to check out Corberry Digital. Corberry specializes exclusively in helping home service companies dominate their local markets through SEO, Google Ads, local service ads, websites, content marketing, and lead generation systems that actually produce a measurable ROI. Their team doesn't just focus on clicks and impressions. They help contractors lower customer acquisition costs, increase qualified leads, and build a marketing engine that scales. What I like about Corberry is they understand the blue collar space. They aren't trying to be everything to everyone. Their entire focus is helping trades businesses win in their backyard and generate more profitable jobs. If you're looking to grow your business, improve your online visibility, and build a marketing system that works, visit Corberry.com and schedule a strategy session with their team. That's Corberry.com. Tell them you heard about them on the podcast. What's up, everybody? This podcast is sponsored by Grimes Financial Advisors. You've spent time and energy building a successful business, but here's the question. Do you have a real retirement plan or just a pile of investments? Our friends at Grimes Financial Advisors specialize in helping business owners and families create a clear roadmap for retirement through their proprietary retirement blueprint. Instead of focusing only on investments, they look at the entire picture: income planning, taxes, long-term care, legacy planning, and making sure your money is actually working for the life you want to live. I've gotten to know Dustin personally. One of the things that I respect most about him is he believes every financial decision should fit into a bigger plan. You shouldn't just chase returns. So whether you're 5 years from retirement or simply want a second opinion on your financial strategy, I highly recommend reaching out to Dustin and his team. Visit Grimes Financial Advisors to schedule your consultation and start building your own retirement blueprint.
What's going really well with your business right now, Daine, and what are some challenges you guys are facing?
Well, I love to be a part of the community. So how can I be involved in our local independent business association? How can I be involved in our chamber? What kind of nonprofits out there, like local small nonprofits that I can help support, be a part of? What kind of networking groups can I jump in and be of service to? Now I've been a business owner and I've made plenty of mistakes in the last 10 years. And how can I help mentor some of those smaller businesses out there that are just getting started? Like, how can I help the person that I used to be? And that's kind of how I look at things all the time. So the more that I can give back, the more that I get in return, I've come to find out. And so that's been great. And doing what we do, it's such a niche industry. There's a lot of pest control companies out there, but very few that actually do what we do. So I like to build relationships with other companies out there, and that way, they can send us referrals easily, and vice versa. I can send them referrals because, we only do a certain part of the job. We don't take care of everything.
Yeah. What are some of the biggest challenges that you feel like you guys are facing right now as you're growing and scaling?
Well, where every day is a new step in unknown. I've kind of been able to put in systems and processes and trainings that this location can kind of run without me being involved in the day to day. But now I'm trying to figure that out, how I'm going to be able to do that in 2 locations. So that's definitely something new. Always, hiring the right people. Very rarely you're going to find somebody that has experience in the industry that I'm in, but I'm always trying to hire for personality and for core values, and are they going to be a good match for our team? So definitely sitting down and talking with people and really getting to know people, and treating them as people. I think when companies get too big, there's a disconnect between the owner or the high level managers and their people. And I never want to lose that. I always want to know these people and what drives them, and how can we achieve their goals through the goals of the business as well.
Yeah, that's a good word. Let's talk about AI for a second. How are you guys integrating it into your business?
Yeah. So, AI is never going to remove bats from somebody's home, but AI is a tool that we can utilize to help serve our customers better. We use it a lot in our accounting softwares already. We use it a lot in our inspection softwares, where we can go around and take pictures, and we can take voice notes of the entire customer's property, and then it develops like a report for the customers. I definitely use it to help do some social media content marketing and stuff like that. It definitely helps like in emails and stuff like that, helping our managers put together different responses. And we've got some automated stuff with our reviews and stuff like that. So it's definitely a tool that we use. A lot of it is in the back end softwares. But you guys never going to get rid of the raccoon in your chimney.
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by 10X Nerds. If you're a business owner doing real revenue, there's a good chance you're overpaying in areas you haven't even looked at. Things like credit card processing, insurance, telecom, and more. 10X Nerds comes in, audits your expenses across 30 plus categories, and finds immediate savings. And here's the kicker: they only get paid if they save you money. It's a complete no-brainer. If you want to keep more of what you make, go check them out at 10xnerds.com. This episode is brought to you by my friend Silas Lagoy over at ForgeMark Wealth. If you're a high-income business owner or professional and feel like you're getting crushed by taxes, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not stuck. ForgeMark Wealth specializes in advanced legal tax strategies and wealth planning designed to help you keep more of what you make, grow it efficiently, and actually build long-term freedom, not just income. If you're making serious money but don't have a real strategy behind it yet, I highly recommend connecting with Silas and his team.
Dan, I'm noticing a lot of blue collar founders starting to buy back their time using overseas staffing and also AI. Are you using any of those types of resources, or do you have any buy back your time hacks for business owners?
When we were first building out our Go High Level CRM, I did use some overseas virtual assistants just to kind of help with some of the groundwork. But I don't employ any of them right now or use any VAs right now. AI mostly just to kind of, like I said, help with some of that software integration and stuff like that right now.
Yeah. And then let's talk about your podcast and your book. It's obviously something you're really passionate about. Where can we find it? And what's the name of the podcast?
Sure. So the podcast you can find, it's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, pretty much anywhere that you can find podcasts. It's called the Consistency Engine Podcast. And we just started a couple months ago. I think we're up to 10 episodes now. It's been something that I've wanted to do for a while, and just like anything, you say you want to do something, but did you actually take the action to do it? And we finally did. I host it with one of my good friends. His name's Chase Collier. We're both in the personal development, business development, transformation space. So we come together and we talk about different topics, and we're definitely going to start having guests on it here in the coming future. We're just trying to make sure every week we're putting out a quality episode, and it's in that 30 to 40 minute range. So it's easy to listen to, and usually hopefully you get some sort of takeaway. I'm not an expert on much, but I'm an expert on my experience. So I just try to help share those experiences with other people. And then
I love that, man.
As far as my book came out, I think it was like September, October last year. It's a co-author series book. It's called Stand on the Shoulders of Giants. And that particular one is multi-million-dollar producers. There's a few co-authors that we came together and wrote a book telling our stories. So that came out at the end of last year. That's on Amazon, Stand on the Shoulders of Giants, featuring Daine Patton. You can find it there. And then later this year, I'll have another book coming out in that Stand on the Shoulders of Giants series, and it's going to be on mindset mastery.
That's awesome, man. I think that's incredibly important. I love the way that you're giving back. I love the way that you're just kind of giving over the podcast through the book. Are there any things that we haven't talked about today, Daine, that get you fired up? Anything maybe unrelated to business or in the business?
Well, I mean, there's so much that gets me fired up. Like personal development is something that I'm super passionate about. Once I started to heal my physical body with losing the weight and burning and dropping the fat, the transformation that started to happen inside my brain and how I saw things differently and how I learned more. I was attracted to podcasts like this or reading new books and stuff like that. There wasn't. I always tell people, like, I'm not a special person. I just did the work, and if that's something I can share with other people, it's like, I didn't have great genetics or anything like that, but I just went to the gym and I watched what I put on my plate, and I've been able to change my physical body. And then the same thing, I started putting good information into my head, and then in turn, like, I became a better father. I became a better husband. And that's what's most important. I have 3 boys. I love them to death. My wife, we've been married for almost 15 years this year. And we love to travel. We love to have experiences. And I just love to show up for them as a better version of myself.
I love that. Well, Dan, if people want to learn more about who you are and what you do, where can they go?
So I'm very active on social media. You can follow me on Instagram, on Facebook. It's Daine Patton, DAINE Patton. My business is Bats to Rats, and that's TO. So BATSTORATS.com is our website, and also Facebook and Instagram there too.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Don't go anywhere because I want to keep talking, but thanks so much for coming on the show.
All right. Thanks, Andrew.
That was fun, man.